This topic is constructing a frequency distribution and a histogram. And a histogram is basically like a bar graph where you have grouped together several of the bars. You've kind of like lumped all the data from several bars together to make fewer bars in the graph, but then as a result, you have a range of data along the bottom of the graph instead of every single individual piece of data. This problem says here are the shopping times in minutes for each of 16 shoppers at a local grocery store. The first step to creating a histogram is to create a frequency distribution table. And a frequency table is basically just counting the data to find out how many pieces of data fall within each given range. And it's telling us that we are basically grouping 4 bar graphs together because it says the class width is 4. The class width basically tells you how many bar graphs you're grouping together. So we're grouping together the bar graphs of 16 minutes, 17 minutes, 18 minutes, and 19 minutes. And we're counting how many pieces of data would have been in all of those bar graphs total. So pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle any of the numbers that fall within those pieces of data. 16, 17, 18, or 19. And I see 3 pieces of data there. Next, I'm going to do the same thing for 20, 21, 22, and 23. There's 21. Let's see, is there any more? I don't see any more, so just one piece of data there. I'm going to do the same thing for 24, 25, 26, 27. Let's see, 24, 26, 26. I don't see anything else, so there were 3 of those. Same thing for 28, 29, 30, and 31. 29, 31, 28. Looks like that's it. 4 pieces of data there. And then our last part is going to be 32, 33, 34, 35. 32, 33, 34, 35. I see 5 pieces of data there. And then the next step is to create basically a bar graph from these groups of data. So for 16 through 19, our bar is going to look like this. And from 20 to 23, I just have 1. And unlike bar graphs, histograms will touch each other. So on the sides right here, they're going to end up touching each other. From 24 to 27, we had 3. So we're going to go up to 3. 28 to 31 is 4. Go up to 4. Bar graphs, you usually leave a little space in between them, but because histograms are ranges of data, we don't leave any space in between them. So there's our histogram and our frequency table. Here's another problem. It says Mrs. Parker gave her students a biology test last week. Here are the test scores for each of the 15 students. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4 classes. And when I say classes, I don't mean classes of students. I mean classes in our histogram. Basically, this is 4 groups that we are grouping together amounts of bar graphs. And the amounts of bar graphs in each group that we're grouping together is 5. So that's our class width. So when I say that, I mean would have 5 individual bar graphs for the numbers 79, 80, 81, 82, and 83. But I'm grouping them together as 1 bar for that range of test scores. So now I just need to go through and count all these up for 79 through 83. So I'm going to circle anything that falls in that range from 79, 80, 81, 82, and 83. And I almost forgot there's one more there, 79. We call 79 the lower limit of this class, and we call 83 the upper limit. So we do have one that's at the lower limit and one that's at the upper limit. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of data in that class. Our next class is 84 to 88. There's one right there. I don't see any more, so just one piece of data. 89 to 93. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of data. And in that class, we do have one at the lower limit and at the upper limit for that class. And our last class is 94 to 98. So that would be these 2 right here. Making our histogram, 79 to 83, there were 7. 84 to 88, there was only 1. 89 to 93, there were 5. And 94 to 98, there were 2 students. One last example. Here are the hottest recorded temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit for each of 15 cities throughout North America. So before we begin, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 classes, and each class has a width of 5. That means that there were 5 individual bar graphs that we grouped together into each range of data. So our first class, lower limit is 98, upper limit is 102. So anything between 98 and 102. Let's see. Looks like there are 3 numbers. 103 to 107. There's 1, there's 1, there's 1, there's 1. And I missed one right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 108 to 112 is our next class. 1, 2, 3. And then 113 to 117. 1, 2, 3, 4. The biggest way to make mistakes on here is just to forget or count wrong. Okay, now making our histogram. From 98 to 102 was 3. 103 to 107 is 5. 108 to 112 is 3. And 113 to 117 was 4.